Yo, what's happening, my friends? Welcome back to episode number 79 of the live day trading stream here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We had a 2-day break. Looking forward to get back into the markets. Hope you guys are doing well here. Let me see who's in the chat. Welcome back. Let's see what's happening in the chat here. Let's see if the chat survived today, or if it's a war zone. Let me see what's going on. Let's have a quick sneak peek. Let's see. Okay. BR, my man, what's happening? Lucas, good to see you. Suave, good to see you, my friend. Maden, good to see you. Toker of X, welcome back. Universe, welcome back. Billy Gibb, welcome back. Amazing. Hello, Lorenzo, what's happening? Albert, Christoph, Isabella, Thomas. Yes. Paul, good to see you. It felt like you were gone forever. It's been only 2 days. That's not that long. It feels like forever though, but it's not that long. It's not that long. Welcome back, my friend. Eriza, good to see you. Echo Mystery, what's happening? Ehab Saleh. You have been missing out, my friend. You have been missing out. Leonardo, good to see you. Yes, sir. All right, my friends, we have a lot of things to discuss. Yeah, we'll talk about everything that happened as well. Friday, Monday, the New York session is also movement here. We'll go over everything. And then we'll get back to work. What do you guys think? I think that's a good idea. Yes? All right. Okay. Perfect. Let's go. Welcome back, my friends.
Como Chucky para ti, y esos chamaquitos que te gusta, yo te digo lo que son cares tú, yeah. I can spend a little money on you, baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump, no. Tell me if you really about it, we can show them how we do it, run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up, baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up, baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up, baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up, baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump.
Hacer un poquito de dinero en ese pump pump. Make it blood pump. Ese novio tuyo que tú tienes es un knockoff. Make it blood pump. Baby, we should really come together, make it blood pump. Make it blood pump. Make it blood pump. Make it blood pump. Baby, we should really come together, make it blood pump. Make it. Make it blood pump.
Okay, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Good to see you all. Hope you are all doing well. Looking forward to today's session here. We're still in the range after yesterday's dump. Okay, kind of something that we kind of expected to come here. So I was actually very patient. And I'm honestly, I am the most disciplined trader I have been in years. I'm not joking. Most disciplined. Been making money, been profitable, been doing my job correctly, knowing when to stay in, knowing when to stay out, and when not to be involved in the market. It's annoying when you stream live on YouTube every day because people expect you to trade every day. That is the problem when you stream live every day, right? People get these expectations from you that you should be trading every day as well. the only reality is that this just will not be the case. There are gonna be days in the market where I'm like, you know what? I pass. It's not really something that I'm interested in right now. And I have been trading pretty much every single day since June when we started. But there are moments in the market. Where I'm like, nope, it's not it. It's not the moment. It's better to stay out. It's better to give myself patience as well here. Instead of starting to like overtrade or revenge trade or do anything stupid, I like to observe and I like to wait for price to get to important areas of support or resistance or supply or demand or the extremes, we call that, okay? So this is what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about those extremes. And for me, that's now something that I'm more interested in at this current moment in the market, those extreme levels, okay? Now we do have to deal with a couple things today. We have the CPI. That's also something that I wanted to talk about. CPI is something that I think is important. Why? Because they were already talking about something in regards to the news, CPI news, something with the rate hikes or whatever. So this is something that we have to go over with as well here. But yes, New York session today, CPI, okay? The expectations are that we are a little bit gonna see a potential increase, or there is at least some sort of increase of rate hike bets according to the renewed US-Iran strikes. Okay, so there you could see here gold prices fall amid the Strait of Hormuz tensions again and the Fed rate hike prospects. Okay, so we saw a huge dump yesterday from gold, taking out, of course, what? The previous weekly lows. Okay, the previous weekly lows were taken out right there. We tapped into it right around there. This was the previous weekly low. This was the low of the last week. And then Friday, horrible price action. Yesterday, horrible price action until that big sweeper came. And now we are back at the month. Now we have reached the bottom of the barrel. And now we're back at an area of the month right now. So this is something that we have to pay a lot of attention to towards these extreme levels inside of that zone, right around there. And I think that is something that I'm waiting for, to see what happens around that extreme. Because is this a breaker or is this a maker? That is the question. Is it a breaker or is it a maker? Okay, this is something that we're going to look at. All right, a lot of definitely negative news around gold as well here, right? Especially in regards to Iran and like oil pushing up again. Of course, look at oil starting to rise. Okay, oil is starting to push up higher. We saw oil coming up from the bottom here, roughly speaking, around 20%. A silly 20% in around what? Around 12 days, okay? However, look at where oil is right now. This is something I think is important to mention. Look at where oil is now, okay? Oil is back at resistance, or it's back at a zone of resistance, an area of interest right now again. If you go here to the 8 hour and we simply mark out the high to the low here, right? We can even do it from the top all the way. You're not gonna make any difference. You can see that we have a huge amount of volume traded at the bottom. Now we bounced from that zone right there. We broke above that, so buyers are back in control again on oil. It's pretty obvious actually. The buyers are back. We are creating demand zone after demand zone after demand zone right now. So you can see that on oil, you can actually see that this is an area of demand. We've been holding that zone here. This is an area of demand. We've been holding that zone here. So gold is not looking good. Okay, it's not looking good from that perspective of gold in the medium term. Okay, because if oil just keeps rising and keeps pushing, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the metal sector again. Okay, and if this is all in coincide with the negative news around, you know, Iran and everything like that, and the Strait of Hormuz, you know, oil supply is going to be scarce. It's going to push up higher, and then what? Gold's going to, of course, have a hard time benefiting from that. Okay, but we do have a low volume node sitting in that gap there. You see that? There is a huge gap on oil. That is one thing to think about. And that gap is sitting right here. Okay, that gap is actually there. That's the low volume node. We are in a low volume node. Okay, so in that area right now, we are definitely seeing a little bit of a rejection period happening right around there. Okay, so that is resistance for oil. That I think is important to mention for today's session, for the Asian session. because we are in it right now, okay? Oil is in that resistance at the moment. So what I want to do is I want to pay a lot of attention to what oil does around this area right now. So see how actually gold, responds to that, okay? How does gold respond to a little oil pullback today? That is the question, okay? At the same time, this is what we talked about in my Telegram group as well here. This is something that I wanted to share with you guys already, right? Beforehand, we talked about this setup already. This was already on a Friday where I said something about this, okay? Oh, okay, I hope you guys can see it right there. Oh, it's a bit blurry from Telegram, okay? But anyways, this is something that we were looking for, okay? We were looking for something like that already. Price was pretty much there, doing nothing, right? And then price, the previous weekly lows were here. We were looking at something like this area to see how price would react inside of that zone to potentially react, right? But this was, of course, before all that news came out. But we are there now. We have arrived at that zone right now, okay? So that is an area of interest where we have to pay attention to what gold will do, how gold will respond, how buyers and sellers interact, and all of that good stuff right around there, okay? So yes, I did not take any trades in the last 2 days at all. I decided to stay out of the markets, purposely actually to stay out. Especially after Thursday, I could see the market was a bit messy. And then Friday, even worse, especially in the Asian sessions right here, especially during the Asia. This was the Asian session of Friday, right there. And this was the Asian session of yesterday, right there. So overall, let's hope that today will be just a little bit cleaner. What do you think? I hope so. I hope so. Let's see. I hope we're going to see a little bit more, momentum in combination, according to yesterday or Friday as well here. I hope a little bit see more movement today. This is going to help, okay? It's going to help. It's something you cannot control, but it is going to help. So yeah, let's see. Okay, are we at higher time frame support? We are definitely at higher time frame support. There's no doubt about that here. Okay, we have that weekly support right here. So many sellers entered the market at the bottom here. We are pretty much operating at that weekly level, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm that real quick. Let's see what we have. Yes, okay. Yeah, we're pretty much operating at that same weekly level. Okay, we have been in this level already for a long period of time here. It's pretty much this area. We're trading in that zone as well. The daily is actually holding that support here on the daily time frame. And the 4 hour, we're seeing sellers, we're seeing buyers. None of them really succeed at the moment, okay? We're pretty much flat currently. So hopefully we do manage to, create some sort of breakout. And then the idea was, if we can create a breakout, that we can actually trade towards the VWAP right there, right? Back towards the VWAP, and then maybe a continuation down or something like that. But at least back to the VWAP, back to the session VWAP of yesterday. That would be the ideal case scenario. If we could trade back towards that, a little impulse move back, then I think we're in a pretty good spot for today's session. But that means that we have to wait and see price pushing up back towards the previous weekly low, actually, okay? Something like that. But anyways, we'll keep a close eye on it. There are no guarantees today. Again, it's just one of those days, or one of those weeks, I could better say, where price is pretty much flat throughout the Asian sessions. So we'll give this a shot here. Give me 1 second, my friends. My Starbucks is waiting. All right, now we can get started. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, New York session yesterday was pretty wild though. New York session actually showed a very clear setup the moment we got down there. And what actually happened was this: if you go to the 4-hour time frame, we actually had a really nice clean closure below that area and then a tap into that zone, and we saw a huge sell-off. So huge volume traded, a lot of sellers stepped in at the top. We closed the candle, New York opened, it tapped into it, and it couldn't break resistance, and it sold off really, really heavily. And this is where the resistance right now is at as well here. At the bottom, actually, right here, we are facing some resistance right now. If you break that, we'll probably shoot up back towards the VWAP like we talked about right there. So that's something I'm interested in. Kind of like a breakout scenario here. A breakout of the range. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, from a fundamental perspective, everyone is bearish, but shorting the bottom is never a good sign, never a good idea, regardless if you're bearish with Iran and stuff. You know, the chances that it will break, it could break, but it can also not break and simply bounce and get back into the range as well here. The most important thing that I look at is not just, okay, what is the chance that this will break? Because as long as we're in a larger range, we're in a larger range, okay? We were in a larger range. And we're at the bottom of the range, okay? So if we're at the bottom of the range, then you can better wait for the breakout to happen. You can better wait for the confirmation, wait for the closure below, and then look for the continuation to the downside. Because after that, after this level is broken, there is not much support. That I can tell you already. Okay, if you break that low here, there is not much happening in between there, okay? Until we're back at where we came from in August or September. So we better hold this low, because if we lose this level, it's it's not looking good for gold, okay? It's not looking good. So we better hold this zone right now at the moment. We better hold that range. And why didn't I take any trades yesterday and on a Friday? Well, just have to look at it from this perspective, okay? This is what we're doing right now with gold. This is the current price action right here, okay? This is the last month, pretty much. 3.5 weeks, okay? And inside of those 3.5 week range, we had a smaller range. We were operating in like a smaller area, which is this week right there. So we're trading in a range, And the Asian session is inside of the range, It's like inception. It's like extremely compressed, okay? Extremely compressed out of the range right there. At the same time, what we were doing yesterday, we were pretty much doing something like this right there. Very, very, very compressed right there, right? We had this one, and this is where we were trading at. We were trading literally there on a Friday and on a Monday until the breakout right now, okay? Until the breakout at this current moment right here. So now we are there, okay? So now it's more interesting to think about, okay, what's next than a couple days ago, Friday and Monday and things like that right there, okay? So it's gonna be normal. There are gonna be days where I will not be streaming when I don't see anything clear. And the reason why I want to stream today is just to show a little bit of that idea to you, so you kind of understand what we're looking into, or why we're looking into what we're looking into. But yeah, no guarantees, man. If the A session is flat, it is still flat, okay? And yeah, we have to just be patient. That's it. You know, we had an incredible month, right? Incredible month from a trading perspective. Well, I grew my personal accounts very well. Multiple accounts, actually. The one that I've been using on the streams, we are up around, right now we are still up where we are. I think we're still at the same area, right? We're still up around 10K in profit since the 16th of June. So we started a 6K account. We grew it all the way to 17K. Around about 17K. So yeah, overall, you know, it's good, healthy growth. And we just need to be patient if you want to continuously grow that account, because otherwise, if I start forcing setups because of the sake of it, I don't think that that growth will continue forever. So patience sometimes is required. It's unfortunate when you're streaming live every day, but it's just the truth, guys. I hope you guys understand that. I really hope you guys understand that, because we need to be as adaptable to the market conditions as possible. And there are moments in the market where it's better to just wait and wait for those extreme levels to be hit. The highs and the lows, sweeping the previous weekly lows, the previous weekly highs, which we are doing right now, and then see what happens, right? Then see what happens next. What happens now, right? Are we going to come back into the range? That is bullish, right? If we pull back and break back above the previous weekly lows inside of the range, that is considered bullish, because that probably means we're going to test the top range again. We're going to push up higher again, right? We might even come back to the opening price of the week again, right? All those things are really, really good confirmations. If price rejects around there, that is also information, okay? That is also information. The fact that we can't break back above this area and we reject here, that is also information, right? That could also bring us back down again. This is also a setup, right? If we pull back down lower again and we pull back and we hold support, there is a chance that we make another, you know, retracement back up again and we just stay in the range. This is also information. There are a couple things that we can do around here, okay? But yeah, we need to do something. Yes. Jinbo, yo Lorenzo, I can't sadly watch your stream every day due to the time difference. Unfortunately, man, my friend, I missed watching every day. Oh, really? ADC, I know you, my friend. That's unfortunate. What is the update of adding 20 people into the elite group? Oh yeah, we are closed. We are officially closed, guys. Like I told you before, it will take a couple days. Pretty much a week or less than a week, and we are fully closed right now. So we're gonna open in a couple months, you know, in a month or two, right? 6 to 8 weeks. And you guys hear from me again when it's open again in the future, okay? We have an amazing group though, amazing group of people. I'm really looking forward to get started with them as well. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing period. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, for the people that didn't got into the elite or something like that, don't worry. We have YouTube. We will be here every day. I mean, I will be here every day. We will have our Telegram. We'll make some content soon. So there are a lot of things that are coming. So nice, so clean. Love the daily time frame. Daily is at support, that's for sure. Daily is at support. Well, we already knew this. The daily is at support. We saw a huge breakout here. That initiation took place right there, right? All that volume came in at the bottom, and then we shoot up on the daily time frame. And this is where it all started. After all those sellers got stuck and trapped. So I expected a reaction from this level. But there is not really follow through. Not really follow through yet. Okay, you see the hourly. The hourly is pretty much dead right now at the moment. Yeah. The most important thing I think is gonna be oil. If oil does not break down, or oil does not do something here around this level that we talked about, yeah, then it will be a hard time for us. But if oil decides to move, I think that's gonna help us a little bit here. The dollar doesn't know what it wants to do, okay? The dollar is all over the place. The dollar is still ranging. It's still in that, whatever you want to call it. Dollar is still in there. We see a little breakout on the dollar though, right? If you look at it from that perspective. But we're still inside of this zone. in that resistance right there. We still have that resistance on the dollar that we are holding and rejecting at right now at the moment. Okay, that is the dollar. Let me zoom in for you a little bit. So this is the range on the dollar right now. This is a supply that we still have marked out right there. We're in it. But at the same time, we have demand here now too. So the dollar is working its way to a breakout. At least this is what it looks like. Right? The dollar wants to potentially go higher and pretty much break out of that, how do you call that? Bull flag, whatever you want to call it, right? We simply are seeing the dollar breaking out right now at the moment, right? So we're going to put a lot of pressure on gold here, that's for sure. But gold is at support too. So let's see if gold can pull back and if you can trade the pullback, or if we can see what gold can do now. Can it go back? Can it push? Can it get into resistance and sell off again? There are definitely some opportunities, but you need to break out of this. We need to break out of this gap. Suggest a prop firm. Listen, man, I'm not really a promoter. You know, I'm not doing this really on stream a lot, where I promote all these like 5 different prop firms or something like that. That's not really my style. So I'm not really an affiliate guy. Okay, but what you can do, there is one prop firm that I have been using for a long time, and that is FundedNext. And I've also been trading with TopStep a lot when I started out. Also, you know, I've been funded. I am funded with TopStep also still, believe it or not. But yeah, I have still 450K in funding. But yeah. I'm a bad multitasker. Are you switching back to the New York session anytime soon? To be honest, for now, we'll kick it off with the Asia. But it also depends, right? It also depends on the markets. If Asia is going to be like flat forever, then maybe I will do some New York sessions as well and see if it can go there, right? Yes. It's definitely a possibility because, you know, Asia has been treating us extremely well in June. Let's be honest. We cannot complain, right? Asia was amazing. Like, I really enjoyed trading Asia. Really good. Overall, super good price action, right? Let's be honest. Very, very clean. Pretty much every day we had some good movements. And we have been really capitalizing on it. Really capitalizing on it right now. In June especially, we have been milking gold. But, you know, market conditions change, right? News comes into play. Iran, Trump, the US, the Federal Reserve, the rate hikes, the rate cuts, you name it. There are going to be moments where a session will perform worse. And this is, I think, the moment right now where Asia is chilling a little bit for the next coming days ahead of us. And we have to wait and see, right? We have to wait and see. But today's the CPI. So let's wait for the CPI first. This week stream Asia for sure. And then we'll decide. DOC just got here, but I'm not going to diddle in the middle. Love that. Creative answer. Diddle in the middle. Previous daily low is swapped. Not just the previous daily low. The previous weekly low as well. Right there. Yesterday. So that is an interesting one. Right, we've taken out the previous weekly low and the previous daily lows again, and we're now pulling back. So yeah, it is an interesting level. I've been looking at the volume profile too. Right around here, we're holding in an area of interest, I guess. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we are actually, yeah, in the middle of the point of control. We're holding inside of the value area. So we're still in the range, right? We're still flat in the range right now. But we are at 4 hour in a month. Yeah. Okay. By the way, guys, I wanted to let you guys know something. Okay. Today is the day. Today is the day, and I'm happy. I'm super happy to share this with you guys. Okay. Super happy to share this with you guys today. But today is the day. It's my 4th birthday. Okay. On YouTube. It's my 4-year anniversary. Yeah. Together, you and me. Yes. 4 years. Yes. 500 live streams. Yes. Okay. There we go, my friends. Welcome back. 4 years. Holy moly. Holy shit. Four freaking years. Can you believe that? How times have changed in those 4 years. Yes, consistency, man. Consistency is everything. The amount of winning streaks I had on this channel, unbelievable. But the losing streaks I had on this channel, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, I had some terrible losing streaks too, and I went through it. Oh, this is how it goes. But we're doing good. We are doing better than ever. Wow. How much has your strategies changed since the beginning? I mean, definitely we added some things for sure. Cannot deny that it only became better. It would be actually really weird to say that we didn't make any improvements in those 4 years of trading, right? That would be very weird to not say, or to say, if there were no improvements at all. So yeah, we definitely made some improvements, but the core concept of the volume profile, I've been using since I started. I've never changed that. I've always been using the volume profile, always been using supply and demand. That is something that has never changed in those years, in those 4 years at all. Volume profile, supply and demand, specifically the volume profile. I just can't trade without it. I just don't know how to trade without it. Why did I want to show up? I wanted to show up on the stream because after 2 days, I'm like, man, I have to go back on the stream. Regardless if there's any price action, good price action or not. To just explain also the thought process, right? To explain the thought process of the market right now as well. And also just where do we stand And is it wise to trade? Well, if it's wise to trade in terms of internally, no. Is it better to look for setups now? Yes. Why? Because it's always better to look for setups if you're outside, on the outside wing of a range, right? If this is the range that you're trading here, it's always going to be more interesting than trading in the middle. In the middle of the middle. Okay? It's always going to be more interesting. Or at the bottom. Or at the top. Or whatever the case may be, right? It's always going to be more interesting to look for confirmation, setups, whatever the case may be. Because this is where the breaker or the maker comes into play. The breaker or the maker. This is the breaker and this is the maker. Yeah? Back to the point of control. So, this is in my opinion where the risk to reward is more beneficial, is more appealing, is more interesting. And I honestly just hope that we either just continue to sell off, yeah, continue with the strength to the downside, very simple, straight up, continuation, sells, just looking for a huge drop or whatever, I don't care, whatever it is right now, just get it over with, right? Remove the bandage. Continue to drop, continue to sell off, and let's get out and create new momentum, right? That would be the ideal case scenario, but this is where we are, okay? We are in a period of compression, all right? And at some point, the climax will hit and we're gonna see the real movements, okay? The real market behaviors. But that doesn't mean that we anticipate the breakout now. We could easily pull back and easily stay in the range and come back inside of the larger range and push out back, push out higher. Isabella, you're the most interesting, amazing person I've met. Good energy, good vibes, really good energy. If you were not trading gold or the NQ, what other asset would you be day trading? I would be looking at, believe it or not, the one that I've been trading the most is the dollar yen. Yes, it's the yen, the Japanese yen. I personally love the yen. I trade the yen. I haven't been trading it for a long time, but I have been enjoying trading it. Yes, I have been enjoying trading it in the past. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. By the way, guys, is the ebook working again? The website, is it working for you? The ltconcepts.io, is it working? I'll send the link in the chat here. It's the book that I've written about the markets, right? The volume profile and everything. The reason why I'm asking if it's working, because last time it was not working and the website was offline or there were issues, no one received their book, whatever. It should be fixed, okay? It should be completely fixed right now at the moment. There are issues. There are issues. Yes, I'm facing some issues with this right now at the moment. It works for me when I click on it. I'll figure out what's going on there. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Hey Lorenzo, what are you doing in your free time? In my free time, number one, I'm going to the gym lately a lot. I'm going to Ibiza, you know what I mean? I'm I'm going to Ibiza on the 25th. Because my father lives there. I'm gonna visit my father. I'm not gonna go partying a lot. It's just more chill, and I need to work a lot. I have a lot of important things to do, sessions to do. So I have a lot of work there. But you know, Ibiza is Ibiza. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go there. I'm gonna go to Spain. And yeah, what do I do in my free time? A lot. Gym, boxing, and I'm building a software. Okay, I'm building a software that I think is going to be incredible for you guys later on. I'm building a software with a team. So a lot of my free time is going into building things right now. Yeah. What is your strategy? A quick summary. It's actually the gold hybrid trading system. Okay, we talk about this all the time, but it is something that has been proven to work for me. I've been profitable for the past, I would say, years, but consistently every month. This year, I didn't have a single bearish month this year, except for March. Was it March? Yeah, I think it was March. Horrible price action. Was it March or April? I need to look back. Either March or April where I broke even. The main reason why is because of the war and the news that came out, and I was trading the New York session, and it was crazy. No one knew what to do. Like, market was literally all over the place at the time, and yeah, overtraded, I guess, a little bit too much. So yeah. For the rest, though, it is the gold hybrid trading system. It's the correlations. Gold versus DXY versus, in this case, then oil. Valuation. Okay. DXY. Or the 10-year yield. Okay. US 10-year yield. Supply and demand. Higher time frame. Volume profile. Lower time frame, order flow, higher time frame and lower time frame. That sums it up. It looks complicated. Actually, it's not complicated at all. It's actually very easy. The hard part is not the strategy. The hard part is the adaptation to the market conditions. Yeah. And the risk management. Did you hear about the Russian guy in Bali? Yeah, I heard about it, man. You know, I'm to be really honest with you guys, I am sharp. I'm super sharp right now in Bali. I'm not joking. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm some sort of guru here or whatever, right? But like, I'm still a streamer. I still trade live. I still show myself making money. People know that some people know that I have money, right? So you have to be very careful here. And this is why I have a security guy as well. You don't see him here, but I have a security port outside of the house. Oh, actually, you can actually, behind that door, okay, there is like a security post, okay? So I have security at all times around this area, because I don't want to live at any place in Bali right now where there is no security. I'm not saying that Bali is unsafe. Bali is super safe. But if I don't want to get kidnapped and you know, someone taking my crypto wallets. You know what I mean? And that happens here. So you have to be very careful. That does happen. I heard many stories about this, and also another story about a guy that lost $5 million. He came back from his restaurant or something like that. Two guys popped up with whatever. Two guys popped up from a car, masked, put him into a van. Yeah, you know how it goes, right? So yeah, you have to be very careful here in Bali, even though Bali's one of the best places, the safest places I know. But you need to stay under the radar. You can't be, yeah, you know, the last thing that you should do here is to show off. Stay under the radar and you'll be fine. Just be cool, still. That is something that would, for example, never happen in Dubai, right? At least you would say so. But yeah. Regardless, though, I would never change Bali. I love Bali. I love the people here. I love the energy here. If I could choose a place where I could stay the most of the time, I would still choose Bali over Dubai, even though Dubai is an amazing place as well. The ideal would be, of course, just to create some sort of hybrid, right? Couple months here, couple months there. You're not worried about Iran nuking Dubai? I'm not in Dubai, so I'm not really thinking about too much. The only thing is, I did book a business flight ticket to Ibiza, right? From Bali to Ibiza. Or Barcelona, okay? And I was like, man, these tickets are cheap. These business class tickets are the cheapest tickets I've ever had. Like, how is that even possible? And then I realized that probably Iran has everything to do with it right now. And the Emiratis, right? So I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that. So I have to fly over that area, correct? Yes. That's why these tickets are so freaking cheap right now. So yeah, I don't know. I already booked it, so I have to do it anyways. But yeah, man, the market is flat. Another flat Asian session for now, guys. Similar to yesterday, similar to Friday, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can manage to see some sort of push, breakout, whatever. But this is the flattest we've seen gold being so far. We do have the CPI today, so that's another layer that people are probably waiting for as well. In terms of the federal rate hikes, right? And this is also something that we have to talk about right now as well here. It's the actual Federal Reserve President that was talking, that he says that rate hikes may be needed if the core inflation stays hot. And that came out yesterday during the New York session. Okay, and guess what gold did after that? Gold dumped around 1,000 pips in a 4-hour candle. At least 1,000 or somewhere around 1,000 pips in a 4-hour candle. So that is significant, okay? That is significant. And if that's true, what he's saying, then it's very interesting. But don't believe everything that the news is telling us. And especially not when it's before a major event like the CPI. So the CPI is today, okay? Tomorrow we have the PPI, I believe, okay? As well here. And then next week, do we have something important? No, next week, not really. No, but tomorrow and today, we have a lot of news, right? Today, we have the CPI. Gold dumps before the CPI. We are at support right now at the moment here. I mean, you can never trust the news. You can never trust the news fully. Okay? So we're still here. And that doesn't gonna refuse me of taking long positions, by the way. Okay, as long as we're objectively speaking inside of a 4-hour range, like we talked about in my video, by the way, I made a full analysis about this right here. So if you're not in my Telegram, then you need to watch out for these updates because they're gonna come a lot more, okay? We talked about the full explanation of this and how we said that we wanted to see price and potentially cooling down, right? Taking out those lows, coming back towards those levels, and then potentially even react, okay, from the bottom here. And this is where we are right now at the moment, okay? We are literally at those lows currently, okay? So as long as we're in the range, we're in the range. And you can try to go short here and to hopefully look for the breakout. But what if the breakout does not happen? You just don't have the risk to reward in your favor, okay? To look for shorts right here at the bottom of the range. So it's either, in my opinion, longs or nothing, or a quick short scalp. But the breakout trades only happen when the breakout actually happens, okay? And the breakout can still be a fake out until the closure comes. Because if the closure comes, usually it's a different story. Why? Because with a 4-hour closure, not a 1-hour closure, a 4-hour candle closure, the chances of it reducing a fake out is around 85%. Statistically speaking, if we see a 4-hour closure below a 4-hour range, it is statistically just a much larger chance it's not going to be a fake move, okay? When trading with the trend. And I've been testing this for years and years and years and years. And it's a significant confirmation if you see a closure below here, okay? Now the order flow will then determine exactly where in that 4-hour candle the most volume has been executed. And based around that 4-hour candle, let's say the candle does come down, okay, and we do create some sort of push, and we see the most volume is traded here, then that will become resistance, and that will become a very good entry point where you put your stop loss above, and you target a major level below that, okay? A major level below, and then you will probably see something like this, like a continuation down, and whatever the case may be, right? But for now, we're at the bottom, and looking for shorts now is, in my opinion, stacking the odds against you, regardless of what the news tells us. And at the same time, right, look at oil. Oil is simply in resistance at the moment, okay? Oil is in that 8-hour zone, that 8-hour resistance level, right? We're actually in what we call a low volume node. We tapped into that low volume node right around there, inside of the swing high to swing low. So this was a predictable level where oil will always find resistance. It's at $80 a barrel. This is a critical level for oil, okay? The $80. So if oil is in resistance on the higher time frame and gold is in support on the higher time frame, then looking for shorts on gold now is very tricky. It's very tricky, regardless of what happened with the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran, with the news, all that stuff. It's just, regardless what's happening here, major resistance on oil, major support on gold. Dollar back and still in that supply as well here at the moment. At the same time, you do have to pay attention to the relative strength of gold. So for example, if oil decides to reject and come down and come down and come down, and gold does not move with oil, the same aggression up as gold is, as oil is moving down, then you know, hey, listen, the metal sector is weak. People are not interested in looking to invest in things like gold. That's terms what we call relative strength, okay? That means, and this is something that I think is always important to watch. And I'm gonna give you a little secret right now of how we can trade and how you can actually take amazing setups, okay? Very simple. In this case, oil, usually it's the dollar, okay? But let's say now it's oil because of the war, because of Iran, because of the supply shock or you know, oil spiking 20%, of course, oil gold dropping because of it. This is what you want to look at. Okay, so let's imagine that this is the dollar. Okay, let me just write it down right now. Or oil. Dollar or oil, okay, is right here. So we have the dollar, we have oil. Right there. We have gold or silver right there. Okay. Dollar and oil and gold and silver. Okay. Now let's imagine that the dollar and oil are in resistance. Okay. And gold is in support. Okay. Price comes up. Oil is strong, oil is pushing up higher, right? And oil is in resistance. At the same time, gold came down because oil is pushing higher. And now gold is in support, okay? What you want to pay attention to when gold or oil reaches a resistance area, so you can do this on the 1 hour, you can do this on the 15 minute, you can do this on a volume profile level. You can use it pretty much in every condition, every time frame, okay? Usually there is a negative correlation between the dollar and between oil. Between gold, between silver. Okay, why? Because if the dollar increases, usually you see that the yield increases. A stronger yield means a stronger dollar. That means that people are much more appealed to invest in dollar into a safe haven asset in opposed to gold. People think that gold is a safe haven asset, but in reality, it is not a yielding asset. Okay? And therefore, it's more a store of value. A store of value is not, per definition, directly a safe haven asset, because what the investors want to do is they still want to make money. They still want to have a return on their income, okay? So when the dollar is reaching a major area of resistance, okay, and gold reaching a major area of support, then you want to look always at one thing, and that is if the dollar comes down or oil comes down here, how much does gold shoot up, okay? If gold reacts really well to dollar and oil coming down, okay? So dollar moves down, oil moves down, and gold moves up the same amount. Then you're in a position where you say, hey, you need to look for longs because the reaction is solid, okay? If the dollar and oil are coming down, but gold stays flat in a range, okay, and it can't do anything and it's just breaking out, okay, then at some point, what's going to happen? Dollar is going to find support, oil is going to find support, it's going to push up, and gold usually is going to take out the highs, going to continue to drop lower. That's called relative strength, okay? At this moment right now, when you look at the market, okay, and you look at gold right now, this is a perfect example. Dollar is in resistance, okay? Dollar is coming down. Oil is ranging, is flat actually, but gold is pushing. Okay, in terms of relative strength, that is considered good. Okay, that is considered relatively strong. Okay, all that makes sense right there. So right now we're looking at something like this. Relative strength of gold is holding up really well, and this is something I look at, and it helps me with my daily buys. Okay, perfect. At least we have some sort of breakout a little bit now. Let's look at the order flow as well here. 1 hour. I mean, this is not that bad right now at the moment. That's the VWAP as well here. That is not bad. That is not bad. That is not bad. 98. Let's look on futures as well. $406. 406. Yeah. Okay. That is not bad, you know. That is not bad, actually. Those lows are taken as well. Previous day lows indeed are taken out. That is correct. We are at 4 hour demand. That is correct. So we are also in a demand zone. Oil is in resistance. We see the breakout internally. That is correct. The breakout is there. The 5 minute. We have a low volume node inside of the range now. Now we have a breakout that makes more sense. Right there. We're getting close to setup. We're getting close to setup right now. Yeah. We have to pull back for it though. We have to pull back one more time after the breakout. This is the first breakout, at least to the 7. And then the VWAP is there as well, which is good. We want to hold above that area. A lot of volume was traded here. Okay, I think we can do it. I think we can literally give this a shot, to be honest. I think the target is the 16, is at least the 16, I would say, back towards this, the value area low. I hope we can get there though, that would be nice. Because this is the first breakout that we have seen. Price have to pull back though. This is kind of the first confirmation. I would say the only good confirmation we've seen. I was not planning to trade aggressively today anyways, especially not in this market, inside of the range. But with this breakout, with this volume increase, with this amount of support here, and the VWAP here, and a strong hourly closure, and a pretty good clean target at the 45s even, potentially. I think there is potential. There is potential. Let's see at least. Let's give it a shot, right? Let's give it a try. Yeah, so I'm gonna set my, I have set my limit order at futures, in this case at the 4,006. Or we pull back to the point of control at 3998. 3998.5. 3998.5. This is the first official setup that I'm like, okay, potential. Main reason why is because the fact that we are, oil is still flat, it's in a range, but gold shoots up. That's actually a really good sign. That gold is willing to push higher when oil is was still flat, was still in a range. We just talked about relative strength, right? That is actually what you want to see. And it makes sense. It makes sense of why we're seeing this right there. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. We're not gonna force anything right now, guys. I'm not gonna chase anything in this market. It either gets there or it does not. But in these last couple of days, that is the way to trade for me. Be very precise. Be very patient. Wait for the right setups. Get to these extremes. And yeah. Set the levels. Set the limits. Glow Learning says it looks like a buy trap. For me, it does not really look like a buy trap right now. What is the level on futures? For me, it's 4,006. It's the point of control of the range. It's the point of control of the range. But yeah, it's already pushing. Wow, immediately. Regardless, it's a good level. TG services, bro. Last time CPI gold pumped all day and then dumped at CPI, right? When was the last CPI? What day was that? Exactly. We can check it. We can confirm it. But in the end, we are now at support higher time frame. So this is the other thing about the CPI right now. It's interesting that we saw that huge sell-off last night or today, depending on where you live, before the CPI release. Yes. Because it was related to the inflation as well. It was not just about the Strait of Hormuz and things like that. It was also related to the rate hike. And stuff, and the potential that came with that. Okay? Yeah. Now let's wait for price to get to that zone, if we can get there. But that limit order is set for me there, at least. The thing about why I like this level so much, or this zone so much, is because the fact that we will at some point have to come down to test this VWAP. And to retest this area one more time with a lot of volume. And yeah, we'll see what happens, man. If this continues to shoot, like, I would look for any clean setup inside of this area here without the range breakout first, the range break. And yeah, I mean, inside of this zone. But now we have a what we call a CERC. We trade this all the time. This is one of our patterns we've been trading for the last years. You have the consolidation here. You actually have a little bit of a manipulation at the bottom. But let's imagine that it's just a sweep and then a breakout with the closure. So we have an expansion here. And now we're looking for a retracement. We call it the R. And then we're looking for the continuation. We call that the C. The CERC. Oil is holding up really well. So it's important to see that what you want to see is oil either holding up and gold pushing up, or oil pushing down and gold pushing up. You don't want to see oil dropping and gold doing nothing, staying in the range. Yeah, you gotta respect it when gold is in 4 hour demand at higher time of support. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect these zones, these demand zones. They're a real thing. They've been proven for so many years now to work, but only in the right context, of course, right? With the right confirmations and things like that. And this is why we said be careful with shorting, right? Especially at the bottom of the barrel. Be careful with shorting at the bottom of the barrel. Wow, what a push though, man. Holy moly. What a push. That was so random again, right? Out of nowhere, like. Range, breakout, bye-bye. Would you trade the retracement earlier? You mean the top of the range, the retest of the range? Wow, what a push though, right? We literally just talked about relative strength and like how important it is, how insane it is when you see oil is ranging and gold is pushing. How important that is to pay attention to. There are moments when for example, gold finds support and it doesn't want to break support here, okay? But the dollar is continually going up, or oil is continually going up, but gold is no longer breaking support. The only thing that you have to wait for is the dollar to reach resistance, for oil to reach resistance, and to react from it a little bit. And what will gold do? Gold will shoot up. It's just by constantly looking at the dollar and oil, or in this case oil, or the dollar, okay? And constantly looking at how gold behaves around it. It's not as simple as gold down, dollar up, or gold up, dollar down. It's also Gold ranging, dollar up, dollar in resistance, gold shooting up. The other way around. Can we sell to our limit order? The problem that you're facing right now with that is dollar is dropping. Oil is looking weaker as well. I don't see any strength from that perspective. You need to see oil breaking back up again, I would say. If you are at a level, this is an important level though, to pay attention to right now for gold. It's this area right here. It's very low. It is the very low of this level. I think it's a super important level, yeah. But yeah, relative strength is what we work with a lot, also inside of our group. It's something that we really want to pay attention to at all times. It's gonna help us also with placing limit orders. Is it worth it to place a limit order? Not in terms of like the pullback, but also just to understand, like, let's say oil and dollar are dropping. Is there interest in gold? Is there momentum, right? Yeah, 100%. Oh, you're good? Okay, amazing. Yes, thank you. Very good. Yeah, let's mark out the... I think this is that level. Yes, sir. That is that level. And then... that is that level. All right, 3998.6. Yeah. Cool. John, welcome back. My 3-year-old makes it hard to trade Asia. I can imagine. Yeah, the thing about pullbacks is, right, about anticipating the pullback, is that when the market is like in that 4-hour momentum right now, it's holding up really strong at that support as well. This is where so many sellers stepped into the market last time, remember? And so many sellers got wrecked at the bottom here at that level. So many sellers entered here in the hope that we would break down continuously further. And we never did. We always got absorbed. For some reason, we always got absorbed. And guess where we are right now? We are in that exact same area. Okay? Where all those sellers that stepped into the market last time got squeezed out of their shorts. Okay, you can actually see that in the order flow too. It's not just me. It's actually just looking at all that red that you see here. All that red, all that selling at the bottom. Okay? And yeah, anyways. So a lot of sellers stepped in here at the bottom here. This is why I would be cautious with selling, just in general right now. This is just an area inside of a larger range where sellers are getting, or were getting squeezed. We are up pretty much there. Okay, we're in a larger accumulation period right now, or distribution phase, whatever. But this is where the odds are not in your favor if you're short. And yeah, a retracement though, different story. If you can pull back, right, to any area of interest here, maybe we'll find resistance there. And we'll simply sell off or try to break out. That could be something to look out for. But inside of this area right here, I would be very, very cautious with shorts, personally. Yeah, so long retracements, whatever it is, I would be looking for. Yeah, it's tough to be disciplined now and like to be patient here, but this is how we make money right now at the moment. Like, is to really be disciplined, to really follow the rules, to not be over trading. Like, that's literally the reason why I didn't stream yesterday and Friday, because we were not even seeing this actually. We were just like, it was even worse. Okay, like yesterday it was just complete flat. Friday too. So Friday was the same thing. And it when you stream every day, it feels like, oh wow, 2 days no trade. Feels like the end of the world. Like, wow, didn't trade for 2 days. Wow, call 911. He didn't trade for 2 days. But the reality is, it's actually completely normal. And it will happen much more often, where we have to go to certain phases like that. But yeah, at least the limit order is set now. So just be super disciplined today, this week in general. Really, really important right now. I really want to grow this account live on YouTube or in our Telegram to a nice amount. And the only way to reach that is by being disciplined and committed to my my rules. Don't you think it's dangerous trading against the trend? Yeah, it's a very question I get all the time. Like, why don't you think it's scary to trade against the trend? And yes, but yes, okay, the trend is bearish, right? So, for example, and this is a really good point actually. The trend is super bearish. We all know this right now. Right? We're in a how do we call this? We're in a channel, right? A bearish trend. But at the same time, while we're in a bearish trend, pretty much since, you could say, the 22nd, no, actually since the 18th of June, when I started my account at like 6K. It was pretty much around there. Okay, we have been pretty much coming down, setting in a low, and we haven't broken that low since. So I don't think that we're in a, yeah, we're in a larger downtrend, right? It's true, we're in a larger downtrend, but at the same time, are we really like in a larger downtrend? Yes, we are. But at this moment, from an intraday perspective, is it still worth, right? Thinking about that downtrend, only looking at sells, only looking at areas when we haven't broken the lows since the end of June. Okay? We pretty much have not broken the lows since June or the end of June, right here. Okay, which is this area. We haven't broken those levels. We're pretty much there. Okay? We're getting rejected there. We're pretty much there, right? So does it mean now, because we're in like a downtrend, that I only have to look for shorts because of this overall larger downtrend? Or can we also look at buys at the bottom here? What is your opinion about that? What do you think? Let me know. I'm curious to your opinion, man. I'm always open for feedback personally. But when I see this myself, I will pay attention to what happens here. Okay? And I will not anticipate a breakout until a breakout actually happens. So I'm fine with losing setups, knowing that there is a breakout, knowing that if there is a breakout and a confirmation, I can just re-enter and short again. Right? Yeah, look at that. It's just no reason to buy to sell here, in my opinion. It's very, very tough to sell. What would be an important level to sell from? I would say, because buys are for sure nowhere out of the window here. I think that also most volume traded here was there. I would really be looking back at the larger range, I think, right? The previous structure, which is like this area right here. Pretty much this zone. This is what we're gonna have a hard time. The 40-40, okay? The 40-40 will be a tough level, a tough cookie to crack, okay? I would say mark out that level and watch what happens there. I think the OGs know exactly why we look at this area as resistance right there, okay? That's a target. That is a selling area. That is an important level for sales, okay? The 40-40, all the way up actually to the 40-50, the 40-55. But the 40-40 is where it starts, is where it begins. I would really pay attention to that level, okay? The 40-40, mark it out. Mark it out in case price gets there, because it will be very important. The OGs know why. That's where sales become really relevant, right? So if I'm looking for buys here, I would also never hold on till the top of the range, right? I would always be looking at the 40-40 max. And if the 40-40 comes and we get there, I'm looking to sell, okay? At the 40-40, I'm looking to sell. So it's just a counter trend trade that I'm interested in right now. But that's my selling zone for sure. I know it seems far away, but not necessarily. And these are the levels that we're operating in, right? Pretty much operating inside of these two areas. Yeah, 40-40, huge selling zone. Yeah. So what I'm looking for? Right now I'm looking for buys. Okay. In any pullback I would buy. I might target the 40-40 zone if it can get there, to be really honest with you. But at the same time, I would sell at the 40-40, right? And put my stops at the 45, the 55, sorry, 54. And target the bottom again. So it's actually two levels, something like that I'll be looking for. Okay, this is pretty much the levels that I'm interested in. Any of these zones. And now that we have a breakout out of a range, this buy becomes relevant. Okay. That buy becomes a bit more relevant right now. Alex is full porting for full porting at 40-40. Azamina, I've been reading your book, so helpful, love it. Amazing. 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 Yeah, if you're new to the channel, then what we do here on the streams, we're streaming here on a daily basis. We're streaming almost every day, except for a couple days now. In the last 2 days, I have not. But almost every day, depending on the market too, right? If it makes sense. But you will be here streaming Asian sessions for now. We'll be live on a regular basis. I have written a book. It took me a year to write this book. You can download this book for free. It helps you with understanding the markets a little bit better, hopefully. For you, especially if you're a beginner, I think it's very interesting. And yeah, we're gonna start posting a lot more videos in Telegram. We just have to be a bit patient now with the markets. But yeah, we have been paying attention to it. We have been paying attention to the to videos like that. Sorry, guys. No YouTube videos, just Telegram videos. Okay? Just Telegram videos, no YouTube videos. Why this level? Because it's the point of control and it's the VWAP. All right, it's a combination of multiple levels. The VWAP, the point of control. It actually, yeah, it's round about there, round about this level, round about this area. Want to actually go long at the VWAP, right? That's kind of what we're looking for. Go long at the VWAP. We broke above the VWAP. We broke above the range. We're in 4-hour demand. We are in a larger 4-hour range. We're at the bottom of the range. Dollar is in resistance. Oil is in resistance. Okay. Oil needs to just pull back toward this level. That 8-hour demand zone. That will be nice. And then oil can continue its momentum to the upside. Then Trump can start tweeting again. Then he's allowed to tweet again. And then what we're going to try to break and fill that gap on oil. Right here. And then gold can drop again. What about that? Sounds like a fair deal. Then gold can go up to the 40-40. And I can sell gold from there. Mahendra says, bro, switch off the ceiling fan. Why are you wasting electricity? This is AI, man. This is AI. Okay. Don't worry, man. It's AI, man. Okay. Can you tell me something about the CPI? The CPI is coming out lower than expected, which is actually very interesting. If it comes out higher than expected, higher than the forecast, that is not a good look. That is not a good look. Okay. And that will actually confirm what our chairman said yesterday, why gold dropped so much, about the potential rate hike already earlier. Okay. If we go to the Fed watch right now, we can actually look at this right now. It's actually kind of important, right? The Fed watch, we go to the Fed watch. It shows 15 days for the next FOMC meeting, okay? So we're 2 weeks away. Not the Fed watch, the Fed watch, Fed rate monitor tool, sorry. The Fed rate monitor tool, okay? The Fed rate monitor tool. And if you go to the next potential rate hike, 3.3%, it's already a 50-50 right now. Look at that. Okay, so there's a 46.5% chance between 3.754 basis points that we're going to see an increase of 25 or 50 basis points next month. Okay, or in 2 weeks from now. All right. This is why gold dropped yesterday. It has much more to do, in my opinion, with this than with the Strait of Hormuz and everything like that. Okay, it's much more built around the interest rates and things like that right now than, in my opinion, the Strait. So if the CPI comes out, you know, much lower than expected, it would maybe soften the cake a little bit. Okay. But if it comes higher than expected, it would confirm that statement from yesterday. So it's going to be an important outcome. Definitely. We're definitely going to watch this very closely. Why did you give up trading in Europe? You mean the New York session? I mean, because of the fact that we have been making money, man. Yeah. You know, we've been trading where the money is at. And it has been Asia. Believe it or not, it has been Asia. Asia has been amazing to us. Been treating us with all kinds of love. And a lot of respect. But yeah, the last 2 days were a bit quiet. I've noticed silver is much more volatile than gold. Is there any reason why? It has a much lower market cap. You know, you should see it as an altcoin, right? You have Bitcoin. And then you have whatever. You have a meme coin. You have an altcoin, right? Just look at it from that perspective. You have these large caps and you have these mid caps. I think the market cap of gold is around $30 trillion. If not more, right? Right now. I think it's around 30 trillion. The market cap of silver is how much? $3 trillion. Okay. So the market cap of gold is roughly speaking 10 times bigger than the market cap of silver. So if you ask me why, what about that volatility? That's why I think silver is more volatile than gold is, okay? Just easier to move markets. All right, we're already getting into the red zone already. Yeah, we have to be super patient, but I mean, the setups to me are pretty clear. Setups to me are pretty clear right now at the moment. I think that level is that level, and then the selling zone is that selling zone. I think I'm just gonna stick with that, to be honest, and not trade too much internally. And let's see what happens. I mean, just be patient today. Today is a CPI, so. Telegram link is not working. Okay. Nothing is working, man. Nothing is freaking working. The book is not working. The Telegram link is not working. Okay, I got it. I fixed it though. I fixed it. Give me 1 second. All right, yes. Telegram. Check it now. They changed the link. Telegram itself changed the link. That's why. Now I understand. Okay, sorry for that. Telegram didn't work for that reason. Correct. Or the link did not work for that reason. Yeah, now it should be good. Okay. Yeah, we failed to take out the highs indeed. We did not take out these highs. We did not do that. We did not do that. We didn't even try to break out. Yeah. If we would reverse the chart, it would look something like this. We'll be looking at the point of control, the very low. In this case, it's the opposite. 1 hour. How have you marked out the buying and selling zone on your chart of volume profiles? It's the volume profile. Yeah. It is the volume profile. They have a main look at the volume profile. You have the range, breakout, retest. The volume profile, we have a gap inside of it. Point of control aligns with the order flow. So we're looking at that level right here, the VWAP. A retest of the VWAP, actually. Then we have the larger 4-hour area, right? Or the 1 hour. Did we put it on the 1 hour? Where is it? 50-minute? Yes. So we have a large range. And inside of the large range, we have a really small area of volume traded, a super small area of volume. It's actually traded inside of this whole range for the whole month, because we always have been a whole month right now. And if you mark out a zone, you can actually see that this was just a very strong area of support before, right? Resistance, resistance, support, support, support. And then if we can get back there, okay, we can get back to that area at some point. And we want to talk about trading with the trend. That becomes a very important level for us to watch. And Bashim's looking for the sell-off right there, right? Pretty much something like that. Super important level though, the 40-40. Yeah, man, very important level. But for now, we broke out. We're at 4-hour support. We're at weekly support. All the sellers got stuck last time, got trapped in a position here. So I think we're in a little bit of a counter trade scenario right now. Until there, until the 40-40. No message. Trading in the direction of a dominant downtrend by shorting minimizes risk, maximizes profitability. Yeah, people say this all the time. And the more I say it, the more I'm like, yes, but do you want to really short the bottom? And have we really been trending down again? Is this a clear downtrend, or are we in a larger range now since the end of June, pretty much? Because if this is the low and this is the high, we're pretty much in a range now. All those sellers that are stepped in here last time, in the order flow at least, they all got trapped. This is where we are right now. So am I willing to short it? Yes. Why? I'm willing to short it when we are pulling back to, let's say, you know, we have, let's say, the 40-40. We just talked about that. Which is pretty much this level right there. Okay. The 40-40. It's like this level. So we have to then wait for a little bit of a retracement and then maybe look for something like a sell off again. So this becomes like an area of interest, I would say. And this is why we have the 40-40 marked out as a selling zone. But right here, I'm very cautious. Very careful with selling. And this is where we are now, right? We're now at the bottom. And if we can retrace a little bit, that will be enough for me to say confidently, okay, we can look for the sells and then maybe look for the continuation sells or trade to the bottom again. But yeah. For now, a little bit of a counter trend scenario could make sense to me. It's the 4-hour in a month. 4-hour in a month zone. We saw this actually right here relatively well, right? We had all those people trying to short. Also in the order flow, it was very clear that all those traders were shorting it. All that red here. Selling, 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 selling. Price shoots up. Where did it shoot up? It shoot up around this area right there, okay? It shot up around the lows right there. This is where that shoot up came from after all that selling here. Now that is the exact low. That order, that supply zone, or sorry, demand zone right here, right? That area of support right there. You can actually highlight it a little bit, okay? That exact zone, that drop, that base, that ready, that breakout is the exact zone where we are now reacting from. So yeah, a little pullback for sales, please. A little pullback for sales. Hopefully we can see that later on today, or maybe New York or whatever, at least at some point later today. Regardless, there are two ends to the story. So either we break out, retest this area, we trade the VWAP. which is right now right here. We're not that far away from it. I mean, it could easily squeeze down and get there. And hold at the VWAP or around the VWAP and go long. And then actually target the session VWAP of yesterday, which is exactly at the 4040 as well. So it's actually the session VWAP from yesterday as well. What happens if the bottom breaks? Then the whole story continues, and then we have to think about there is one more level before we actually can flush down, and that is the weekly VWAP. Funny enough, the weekly VWAP is sitting at 38.77 on futures, so that's probably around 38.70. Okay. So there is still hope for gold there. Okay, this is the last line of defense for gold right there. If that level gets taken out, if this thing declines and we close below that, then I don't see anything supporting gold up until the 3,500, the 3,400. And 45. So that's such a massive drop. If we lose this level at the 38.90, we have a 4,000 pip window where nothing is really happening in between. That could be the free falls. Okay, so we are not there yet. It has not broken it yet. We will still find support there. That will be the next major target for us if he could get down, if he would break down. And yeah, it's still not that far away. There is still movement. So that's why also if we pull back to the 40s, let's say, and we look to short it, then yeah, I would still close around the lows, but there is a chance you get back down there. If you lose that level, it is... bye-bye for gold. Yeah, that's for sure. Alex says, they say gold is hugely undervalued. It should be 15,000. Yeah, it should be that. It should be already worth much more. But the problem is that gold is heavily suppressed, number one. The paper gold is heavily suppressing the price of the physical gold. That's another layer. And yeah, as long as interest rates control price, the dollar maintains strong. Oil maintains an interesting factor because if inflation goes up, or if oil prices go up, inflation goes up. If inflation goes up, there's a chance they have to increase interest rates. That suppresses gold. That will increase the strength of the 10-year yield and the treasury bonds, which then reflects upon the dollar strength. Now it's Xau Usd, right? So at the moment, all the odds are stacked against gold. at the moment. What would be an amazing area to start swinging at for gold? I mean, I think somewhere around those levels, the 3,400, 3,500, it will be like... Because once you reach that zone, that will be... yeah, a complete retest, I would say, of that run that we had since August, where everyone was making money, everyone was getting rich. All right, the VWAP is slowly creeping up, though. That's the thing right now. The 5 minutes seems to be already getting to an undervaluation as well. We're not that far away from it. But yeah, I think it's a good level. I think regardless, it is a good level to watch. In terms of oil, we still have a little bit more room, so it's perfect. What about 422 level for selling? Like I said, I explained why I don't want to sell here. I think it's fighting the current a little bit right now. I'm not really a big fan of selling now. I'm a big fan of selling there, higher. Starting at the 40-40. I think it's a really nice level. 40-40 is a beautiful level to watch. Yeah, I think I'm just going to hold on to those two scenarios. 40-40 sell limit, 39.89.5 or 39.90 for buy limit. And just see what happens. Yeah, I'm actually just going to do that. Yeah, right around there, right? Yeah. I think sells are really forced here, personally. But a sell limit at 40-40 is definitely something I will definitely look into. Yeah. Gonna also set it up right there on the futures chart as well. So I'm gonna set it up for you guys already. Let me just do this so it's clear. Yeah, for sure. Perfect zone, actually. Beautiful zone. 40.53 on futures. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay. So I've set a sell limit at 40.40. I think it's a good level to look for sell continuations from. If price pulls back to the 39.90, I would also be buying because of the fact that yeah, we are definitely at the bottom of a range right now at the moment. We are definitely not at the level where I would say this is definitely a counter trend scenario, but definitely at the bottom of a larger range where we are holding support at. Okay. And at the same time, in that larger range right now, we can also confirm that the dollar is in resistance. Okay, dollar is in resistance right now at the moment. We're facing a lot of resistance from the dollar. Oil right now, okay, is in resistance as well here. From the swing high to swing low, you can use the volume profile from the top of the swing to the bottom. And you can look at the gap here, but also at the low volume nodes. And this is the next leg for oil. I think it aligns actually perfectly with this level right there, around this area. It's a major level of resistance as well. Oil shoot up. I think there is a chance that oil at some point needs to retrace a little bit again. And I think that gold will make a quick runner back up because of this region. And we're pretty much at that level, right? At that major support level that we want to actually look at right now. And then I'm being willing to pretty much wait for gold to pretty much hold this zone. Okay, this area right there. We are now in it. But then already here, okay, we'll find a lot of resistance again. And because of the larger trend to the downside and because of the overall sentiment and everything that we're seeing right now at the moment, I do think that this is a super important level that we have to watch, which is this area right here, the 40.40, okay? That could set in a potential breakdown again. So yeah, it's gonna be tight. We're still in the range, but I have my limit order set because of that reason. And I think in both cases, it makes sense. I think for both buys towards that zone or once we're in that zone to simply find resistance there and come back. I think in both cases, there are reasons for us to believe that we could see that playing out. And that's something I'm willing to play. Okay, it's so much better than what we did on Monday or on a Friday when I didn't trade at all. Because if you are in the middle of a range, okay, you're literally in the middle of a range like this. Right there. You're in the middle of a range. You're operating in the middle of a range. And inside of a larger 4-hour range, you're in a smaller range. Okay. Where you are literally compressing like that. Okay. So we were literally doing this. And we were literally trading this on a Monday and a Friday. Right there. Okay? Now, that is, in my opinion, a no-go zone right there. An absolute no-go zone for me personally. That is an area where I would say, bye-bye. I'm not going to get involved there. Okay? That is, to me, straight up Royal Casino, Casino Royale, all in, right? Bluffing my way out of it. That's not a zone that I would like to trade at. Okay, but now that we've broken it, okay, and now that we're back at the bottom, now there is a bit more context again. Now we can say, okay, we're at least at the bottom of the range. We are gonna find resistance here, right? We have our zone there. We have our zone here, right? Now we can start thinking about a new top, a new bottom, whatever the case may be. Now we can potentially see, okay, is there a chance that this trend here now will simply continue, right? Are we gonna find resistance there? And the 40-40 makes sense for me personally. But until that point, we're trading here now. Is there a way to trade towards that? Right? That's my question. Is there a reason? Is there a way for me to trade towards that that zone in particular? Is there potential to get there? Okay. And that's something that I'm trying to see right now. And for that reason, I'm willing to also see if we could get in. Now, why here? Why that area? Now, we do have a 4 hours demand zone here that we're bouncing from. We create a range, so we are in a balanced area. We break out, right? We're looking for new fair value. At some point, we might retest that fair value of that balanced area. That coincides with the VWAP, which we broke above. So we're trading above today's VWAP, which is actually good. That shows that buyers right now are a little bit more in control. We know that oil is a resistance. We know that the dollar is resistance. So any retest of the VWAP in combination with another level, you cannot just trade the VWAP. You need another source of confirmation, which is in my opinion the point of control of this range, the red line, because the most volume has been traded right there. Now that is a zone where I would say, okay, we can give this a try. We can give that a shot. Okay? We can look for a long and see if we could trade higher, and then look for the short once we're there and continue with the trend. Okay? Why did I call this 89? Sorry. It's actually wrong. It is actually 98. Sorry for that. It is not 89. Okay? It is 98. Yeah. You are correct. You are correct. It is actually not 98, indeed. True. True, true. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay? Yeah. See, you're sharp. Very sharp. Or maybe I'm just not sharp. But thank you for telling me. Stephen Hunt, I got cleaned out yesterday. Big drop. I was in longs. Aye. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough yesterday. $40.40. Let me set it also on my phone. $40.40. All right. I think right now the volume is dropping, guys, but I do think these two zones are very important to watch. Let me know what you guys think in the chat here. Let me look at the chat real quick. Let's see what the chat is saying. I hope you understand why the 40-40, we marked out the 40-40. And why we think it's a very important level to watch. Also for sales. And why shorting now is very tricky, in my opinion. Around this area, we also talked about that Why, you know, you should not always think from the perspective of trading with the trend, right? Because the problem is that people are so obsessed and so focused with I'm trading with the trend that they forgot that we're no longer in a trend, but we're in a range. And we have been in a range for the past month, okay? Even though the downtrend is still there, we haven't shifted structure, but the range is a range. We're no longer in a trend. From that perspective, we're in a short-term pause, you could better say. This is more or less a short-term accumulation or distribution period, right? But in these ranges, you need to adapt. You need to like kind of look for new ways of trading. You can't trade the same way because in the inside of the range, you could also look for buys. Okay. You could also look for buys as well here. There's not just only selling opportunities, also in these type of ranges as well. And I think this is a really good example of that. Can you do some analysis on silver? Man, let's check out silver. I haven't been checking out silver for a long time. It's your favorite instrument, right? Silver. Yeah, very similar, I would say. Very, very similar with gold. Definitely still bearish, right? Also, but still, same thing. The key difference with silver is though, that we have the daily zone, the daily supply zone right there already. Wow, that's a beautiful zone on silver, right? That is a beautiful zone. On silver, I would watch this zone for sure. 59.2 on futures at least. I'd really watch this level. This is the daily supply zone, right? This is a good example of where you could find shorts again, even though you're in a range. When the trend is bearish, it's still going to probably show you that exact, right? That level right there is, I think, a very important level. You have this trend to the downside. You have the daily supply zone, but you're in a 4-hour range as well, similar to gold is. Why? Because you have not broken the lows. Right? We're pretty much at the bottom. But any retracement here, I would say into this area at the 59-ish, is a very more important level to watch. I think it's a very amazing level to watch, to look for. Okay? I think it's very good. If you mark out the top of the range, of the swing, sorry, the latest swing with the volume profile, we take it to the bottom. Okay? Yeah, there is a lot of interest in this supply zone. So my ideal short level would be that area. Inside of a deeper, larger daily supply zone. The 59.3 will be so amazing. If we could get there at some point, that would be incredible. Okay. We still have a lot of lows here. There's still a lot of support here. So who knows? We might get there. Right? But for now, we will find support very soon again. Silver is the weaker batch, the weaker bunch, I would say. So this is a level I would watch. Let's remove that supply zone. And then this is an area I would watch. I would watch these two zones right there. Yeah. And pretty much wait for any pullback for sells. Instead of selling now, I would wait for price to either retrace into this area at the 58.5 or the 59.5. One of those two. And if price breaks it, and we just invalidate completely, wait for the 4-hour closure. 4-hour closure, most important closure, right? The closures deal are the confirmation. The wicks deal the damage, but the closures tell the story, right? So we wait for the closure below, and then we look for the confirmation to the downside as well here on silver. So it's gonna help us a lot. The number one thing that helped me becoming a profitable trader, if you would ask me, yo, Lorenzo, what is that one thing that made you an absolute animal? Okay, and yes, I have losing streaks too, by the way. So don't think that I'm always winning, right? I have losing streaks as well here. You know, I'm still working on my craft all the day, every day, right? But there's one thing, and that is what I call scenario mapping. Okay, scenario mapping. I'm gonna write it down right here. Scenario mapping. This is the number one thing that helped me become a better trader. Scenario mapping. What is scenario mapping? Scenario mapping is always asking myself the question, what if you're wrong? What if I am wrong? What if I am wrong? What's next? Okay? A lot of people don't ask themselves those questions. They don't think ahead. They think in the moment. I'm gonna be right. This is the setup. This is gonna be the trade I'm gonna look for. They never ask themselves, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What is the next step? What is the scenario? For example, I can already tell you, let's say I'm looking to buy and I'm wrong, okay? If I'm wrong, I would wait for price to do this. I would wait for price to break out, probably invalidate it. I would wait for the 4 hour to be taken out, and I would look for a closure, and I would look for the continuation. I would look at the order flow of the 4 hour candle and say, okay, I'm probably wrong. Right? Sellers are still in control. We will close below. We'll turn this into resistance, and I would simply wait for the pullback scenario. Okay? So I'm wrong. That is the scenario that I'm looking for. Okay? So I'm always thinking one step ahead. Okay, if I'm right, great. But what if I'm wrong? Ask yourself the question every time, because it allows you to reprogram your mind and think one step ahead of the situation. Really good traders that I know, they think one step ahead of the situation. The best chess, I love chess. All those chess grandmasters, they think 20 steps ahead of the situation. Okay? They don't think that they're always right. You don't have that confirmation bias of I need to be right, because what if you're not right? Then your whole day is ruined. So it's always about setting the right expectations for yourself and mapping out scenarios, okay? So if A, then B. If B, then C. If C, then D. If price comes up and I'm wrong, then we break above this range again, well, we most likely will come up to take out the highs and we look for continuation. That's a scenario I would say I would be wrong, but then I would look for that. If this would break down, I would wait for that closure. Then I would look for that, okay? So scenario mapping allows me to not make impulsive decisions after things are not going in my way directly. It allows me to be very straightforward and say, okay, this didn't happen, now this is gonna happen. I don't have a crystal ball, right? We're playing with variance here. So marking out the right scenarios for you allows you to think in advance, think ahead. Okay? Well, that makes sense. It helped me tremendously. And another thing that helped me tremendously is yapping. Okay? Yapping helped me tremendously in my life. A lot of yapping. And what do I mean with yapping? Talking to myself while I'm doing my analysis. And I know you're sitting by yourself now at home. You're maybe by yourself, right? You're sitting at home. No one is watching you. So you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can just press that button and no one cares. You can do whatever. The only responsibility you have is you and yourself, okay? The problem with that is that it's very easy to get into your head. To don't speak things out loud, to get stuck in your head. So you create these own weird thoughts in your brain of what the market should do and why. And like, you don't really process the information always properly when you're by yourself and when no one tells you something. So the best thing that you can do, and it sounds weird as fuck that I'm saying this, is to talk to yourself, to speak out loud, to record yourself doing the analysis, okay? No one is gonna watch it. It's just you reflecting and telling the storyline to yourself. That way you can realize if you're full of shit or not while you're doing the analysis. Trust me, give it a try. I'm not joking, give it a shot. And you will see, okay? You will see. You will see. Talk to yourself, my friends. Talk to yourself. It will work. It will help. If you can't tell the story and explain it, speaking, then don't take the trade. Why don't you promote any prop firms? I have one link, and that is just for FundedNext because I've working with them for a long time. But yeah, I don't promote any prop firms because I'm just tired of that industry. I'm just tired of the industry, man. I think it's just yeah, I don't know. I can't be bothered anymore. I can't be bothered anymore. I have one program every 6 weeks that I do with an amazing group of people, and that's it. Isabella says, it's crazy when I read what my mind was thinking in some moments. Absolutely. There were moments in time when I woke up, okay, and this is like a couple years ago when I, in trading, like I woke up and, my brain is still like working 50%. Like I'm not fully there yet, okay? I woke up, I sit behind my computer, I do my analysis, and somehow, for a miraculous reason, I was in a short position in 3 minutes of doing my analysis and breakdown. I don't know why. I have no idea why I entered. I thought I saw something. I was sleeping. We call that zombie trading. I was zombie trading, okay? I was a dead man walking, pretending I was awake, doing my analysis, but in reality, I was just chasing some dopamine, right? Just waking up, not being there, not doing my analysis properly, and being in the trade somehow. From that moment onwards, I decided, you know what? I need to change things around. It's not gonna work. It doesn't make any sense. I need to start talking to myself. So every time I do a trade, I talk to myself like I explain it to someone else. What is the reason? Why? What happens if I'm wrong? Why? What would you do then? What would you do then? Yeah. Good that you didn't short it. Yes, exactly, right? We're in that zone. I think gold's holding up really well. We talked about relative strength. If oil is ranging and gold shoots up and is breaking out, then in terms of relative strength, gold is strong, okay? If oil is shooting down and gold is shooting up equal, the relative strength is equal. If oil is shooting down but gold is still ranging, gold is weak. Not because it's ranging, but because oil is dropping, dollar is dropping, and gold is not moving up. So that's why we always want to understand what gold is doing, but also what is oil doing, right? At the moment, the dollar is coming down. Oil is kind of holding up pretty well. Yet gold is still pushing up higher. So this is more bullish. Shorting here is very tricky. Yeah. Hopefully we do see some sort of pullback, though I would love to see that. I would love to see pullback inside of the range, at getting back to the VWAP, right? Getting back towards the level of interest. This is not the right VWAP, by the way. The VWAP is actually sitting right around there, okay? The order flow, it's a little bit different, but that's the VWAP we're looking for. The retest of the VWAP, which is round about our area, okay, around the 4,000. So hopefully we get there, and if not, the 4040 is going to be very interesting. We're hovering around right now for the past hour and a half. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to stick with right now for now, guys. To be honest, I'm just going to set out these levels. Okay. The main exact reason why I did not take a trade Monday, why I didn't stream on Monday and Friday, was just because I know in what condition I need to stay out of. And that is this condition right here, okay? If you are in a larger range, and we're in a larger range, and in the side of the larger range, we're creating compression. And inside of that compression for the last 2 days, we're trading inside of this area. Like, for me, that's an absolute no-go zone, and I would never trade that. So there was no reason for me to get on stream, okay? Hope you understand that. There are gonna be moments when I will not be streaming because of the market conditions, okay? It just doesn't make any sense for me to stream at all. Now that we are leaving and breaking out, okay? And actually are showing that we are breaking, okay? Now it gives us room for possibilities again. Now we are, in an area of interest where we could say, okay, this overall zone, right? This overall area is an area where we could look for setups from. From the top all the way down to the bottom, like this is an area where I would look for areas from setups from the top, from the bottom, whatever the case may be. But now we are operating in a new, kind of a new playing field, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you guys. And it's gonna happen sometimes that I will not be streaming for that exact reason, because of the fact that, yeah, it's not worth it for me. I need to be disciplined. I need to stay disciplined right now in order to grow this account that I do publicly in front of everyone. And I don't want to make any stupid mistakes either. All right, I think that discipline right now is my #1 priority. And I care a lot more about that than about, yeah, forcing trades. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we're going to leave it. I think I'm going to update you guys in Telegram right now. For some reason, the Telegram was actually... the link was broken or whatever. But I think we fixed this right now at the moment. So you can join the Telegram. All right. You can join the Telegram group if you want to be updated about what I'm doing here. We can now finally pick this thing up again, which is great after the Friday and the Monday. I think it's time to pick it up again, because the fact that we have been consistently sharing all my trades pretty much, also from a perspective of journaling my journey, right? I want to make sure that everything that you guys see everything is tracked pretty much, okay? That's why I created a challenge account, or a real life account that I'm acting or utilizing as a challenge for us to track and to see how it's going and how it's performing. We were up around I think before we were up around 12K. Now we're up around 10.5K because we lost one trade after a long streak. Since we started a month ago or 3 weeks ago. So right now we're paying attention to that and see how the account grows. And watch what happens, okay? Around those levels here, I will keep you in the loop. And now it's time for me to make videos again, to update you guys again, because we've broken out of that bad range we were operating into, okay? Now we have a little bit more room, more momentum again to play around. Cool. Keep in mind, between the 25th, okay, this is the last thing I need to talk to you guys as well. Between the 25th of July, no, the 24th, right? We can still stream, right? Friday, 24th, we stream. We leave Saturday, right? 25th. Yeah, 24th of July is my final stream. Yeah, right? For 1 week. Okay, I will take 1 week off. 1 week and 2 days. Okay, so 1 week I will be back. Friday will be my last stream, the 24th. Then I have 1 week off. And then I'll be back on a Tuesday, the 4th of August, okay? So it's roughly a week plus 2 days. And the reason why is because I'm going to go to Ibiza. I'm not going to go on a holiday. I'm going to visit some family. And I have a lot of work to do, actually. So I'm going to be working from there. I have a lot of important work to do with a lot of people as well. But I can't stream during that time period. And especially not Asia, because that will be what, like 3 a.m. or something like that in Spain, right? Ibiza. That's my only week off this year, okay? That's my only week off in the summer, all right? That's it, nothing more than that, okay? I'll be back in August, and I will be streaming August, September, October, November, you name it, okay? Oh, that makes sense. Anyways, you guys know the limit orders I'm gonna be set right now. You guys know what I'm gonna look for. We are now operating in a range, pretty much right there, right? So we are pretty much at that area. We need to break out and hopefully we see a little bit of a retracement inside of these 2 levels. Yeah, pay attention to those areas. I'll keep you guys updated as well. And yeah, man, hopefully soon gold will be able to give us a bit more momentum again, right? We love when gold is in momentum. And when I say momentum, I don't care about it being in a range, because it's fine that gold is in a range. I care about momentum. Momentum right here. This is momentum. This is momentum. This is momentum. Right? This is momentum. Right? This is not momentum. Right? This is not momentum. Right there. Maybe this is not really momentum. Okay? All that makes sense. But this is momentum. Right there. Also in a range. So at some point, we'll get back into that momentum. And price will be lovely. Lovely again. Lovely price action again. But for now, 2 levels. Watch them closely. Okay? All right. Stay disciplined, my friends. Stay freaking disciplined. Adapt to the right market conditions. Stay disciplined. And that's how you make your money. Okay? I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to be in Telegram active for the rest of the day and then back tomorrow again. And then we have the CPI behind us. And then we also know from their perspective what the outcome of the CPI is. That's going to help because that's going to allow us to see if that statement from our chairman around a potential rate hike this month, okay, which is insane. It's a 50-50 now. It's going to be legit or not. So this is going to be very important information for us as well to take in account. Also, today's CPI news. So let's pay attention to this as well. Let's get this behind us. And then the clarity will come back to the market. Okay, what's the result for the application for the elite? We are closed, my friend. We are completely, we're closed. Will you not hear me talk about it for the next 6 weeks or 2 months? Focus on YouTube, Telegram, and download your free book and we'll get there. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. Keep you guys in the loop for our setups right there. I have to go right now. Talk to you guys soon. Limit orders are set though. Much love. See you soon, yeah? Ciao.
Mami, si tú quieres, yo me pongo como money on you, baby. We could really come together, make your blood pump. No, tell me if you really about it. We can show them how we do it. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Run them funds up. Baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump. Run them funds up. Run them funds up.
Much love, guys. See you guys soon.
Run them funds up.
Bye-bye.
Baby, we could really come together, make your blood pump.